February 15th, 2023, I sent a message to Jay Mora, just introducing myself and, saying I wanted to connect. So, Jay said, yes, yes, sir, let's link up, brother, and got on a phone call with me. When I talked to Jay, February 2023, Jay was in a whole different space.
Yeah.
Jay was doing the contracting business. He was supporting his family and he was looking to get into wholesaling. So fast forward, January 2025, look at you. Look at that growth, right? Look
Yeah.
at look at the community that supports you, the communities that support you. Look at the deals that you're doing. How do you feel?
I feel great, man. I remember for my first 13 months was really tough. I didn't get a deal for 13 months and all of a sudden like boom, 65 deals and now we're like I've just lost track and I'm just continuously just growing my mindset, just getting better with being able to speak, being able to articulate words better, get better at just being a human because
Yeah.
this business there's two different things, right? There's convincing and then there's persuasion. And I struggled with that a lot because what I was doing is a lot of convincing. And what does convincing mean? It means when you're the other person on the other line, the other person you're talking to, you are trying to get them to do something because of your own, because of what you want inside, because
Yeah.
of your own agenda.
Yeah.
Whereas persuasion is you're already just simply uncovering the value that they already want. They already made the decision to do something. All you're doing is just hand holding them down and guiding them to the right decision. Whether
Yeah.
it's a yeah, let's do business or you know what, let's not. But the problem with convincing is you tend to put them in a follow-up sequence, especially in this business. In reality, it's a no.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I learned to understand when something is a yes or a no, but I don't accept maybes
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
my business. And that's why I feel like things are going. I mean, I know I'm growing. I see it. I feel it. Like the people that I talk to, like I get messages every single day. It's like, hey, Jay, you don't know me, but you posted this video on YouTube or you posted this video on your Facebook. And because of you, I made a $40,000 assignment. It's like, what? Like, I'm impacting people. Whereas, a couple of years ago, I was getting into this business full time. I've been in real estate for 10 years.
Yeah.
Whether it is my home improvement business, I was a GC since 2016. I started off as a real estate agent that hated investors. I thought you guys are just stealing my equity. Like, you're a disservice to my sellers until I took on my first flip. I had that stealing the equity mindset and I made 7,000 on my first flip.
Yeah.
I wasn't in the red line, but the wholesaler that I bought it from, they made $85,000 on the HUD
Right. Yeah.
on
Yeah.
my first one. And I'm like, you know what? I got to start thinking like an investor. I got to start thinking, cash flow. I got to start thinking about how to leverage the people in my business. And that's what, when you reached out to me, like I was at a point where I don't even think I started really jumping into it full time or, and I remember that conversation. It was on FaceTime,
Yeah.
but dude, life is so good. Life is so good. And I'm just getting better at self-development this year. I stopped doing a ton of, so I'm mainly known for dispo,
Yeah.
selling other people's deals, and business has been just so good that I've been the one closing on properties now. I've been the one buying. I'm working on doing my first ground up construction.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, so that's where I'm focusing on. And so what I'm doing is niching down stuff. This business, you and I both know it's the shiny object stuff. And tell
Yeah.
you what, I love polishing that shiny stuff, man. Like I love
Yeah.
it. Like it feels so good to learn something new. Your excitement levels up here. And then when you start really getting into this is how real estate goes. Your excitement levels up here. Then you start noticing, oh, there's some work to this. It goes down here. Oh, condos goes back up.
Yeah.
So that's how this business is. But one thing I've noticed is just keep it simple and focus.
Yeah, man. Just I feel like less is more.
Oh yeah,
And yeah, and everybody wants to do 1,000 deals, but like I know guys that's doing 10 deals and making way more money. Uh
yeah.
So that's important. I love it, man. I think you're so inspirational. I know you told me before, like I inspired you, but you
Yeah.
inspire me just because, I mean, it's been a very short period of time, bro, and you're on your way up. I mean, you've probably seen yourself. It's probably been really surreal to know, you came from, struggling, and now some of these people that you looked up to, you're kind of side by side with them, right?
They're asking me to jump on their podcast. They're
There you
telling me,
go.
hey, can you, like, I have other coaches that are referring their coaching students to me. I'm like, wow, that's cool. So I'm, and it's all just, specializing what you're doing, get really good at simplifying your message.
Yeah,
That's one thing we struggle with as real estate investors because we tend to do so much.
yeah,
And when we go and explain what we do to people, we're kind of like, you don't understand really how to articulate. Well, I do this, or the first thing we say is, oh, it's a little complicated, and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
they're going down that rabbit hole and trying to explain what you do, and just simplify your message and keep keep your audience engaged on one track. Be known for something is what I'm
yeah,
trying to say. Be known for something and just keep it simple. Third grade language,
yeah,
like when I get deals from agents, like in the beginning, I was like, well, the ARV of this, and that, and the, square root of whatever this rehab. They don't talk like that.
yeah. No,
Talk
not at all.
simple. Most agents, what are they? A part-time barber, part-time, like they're Uber drivers at nighttime. Like they're simple people like us. The problem is that we try to make ourselves seem we're these elite, when in reality we're all trying to be in the same sphere. We're all trying to make money. We're all trying to do business. And that's just this is where I've been, man. Just simplifying my message, simplifying the way I do stuff. If I don't know anything, what are the most incredible three words we can say? I don't know.
Oh, no.
Because what happens is when you try to act like you know, and someone that does know calls you out on it, it's kind of hard to get out of that. Like if somebody asks me a question, I just tell them, that's a great question. Let's figure it out together because I have no idea.
There you go. Just be transparent, right?
Yeah.
Be honest. I think that it goes a long way. Like there's no need. I see posts all the time like, "Oh, well, they asked me if the seller asked if I'm a wholesaler and I told him no." It's like just be real. Be yourself. Like you said, be a human and
Yeah.
you're going to do way better than somebody who's trying to play a part.
Yeah. And I say it like when somebody asks me that question, I used to get stuck on that. Like, are you a wholesaler? I get stuck and I'd have to go into like that dishonest phase and that
Yeah.
run around. And when somebody asked me, you're a wholesaler, I was like, wow, is that property in that bad of shape? You need a wholesaler? Like I say it like that. I like, do you want me to refer you to one?
Yeah.
Like I say stuff like that. And the thing is, people just want to, what they're trying to do is just throw you off a little bit. Cause just like in sales, we have something called the pattern interrupt. But
Yep.
don't forget, the prospect also has a pattern interrupt because they're trying to see what you're going to say next. And that's where I feel like I feel like the power of being a good influence, being a
Yeah.
human, genuine human, and just understanding that the next best thing you can do is ask a question,
Yes.
a clarifying question.
Yes.
It's either ask a question or yeah, you start getting into that kind of like you're juggling something that you don't really like. You're juggling something imaginary.
Yeah.
So the next thing, if you don't know something, own it. I have no idea, but you might ask me. You might tell me why that question came up.
Yeah.
It sounds like that's important to you. Let's hash this out together. Let's figure it out together.
Yeah. This is kind of next level, stuff right here. This
Yeah.
this is the thing, like what you're talking about is what most new investors and wholesalers, they have no idea about this type.
No, no.
Yeah. It's a lot more than pulling a list and just calling people. It's the right communication skills. And so with that being said, like in your business, are you still pulling lists and cold calling yourself, or like what
Oh
are
yeah.
you doing to generate?
Yeah. So I will cold call. I just don't cold call as many people as other, instructors say to do.
Yeah,
And, what's the, Einstein said it best. What's the definition of insanity?
right.
Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result
Yep.
versus become the person who can do the thing in order to get that outcome that you're expecting. So
Mhm.
become the person, right? Learn how to, if you know your top objections, you have a list of them, get really good at asking the questions to those objections, the follow-up questions. Get really good at being able to say say a question, say an objection to the seller first, like just lay it all out there.
Yeah.
And are you an investor? Actually, you know what? This is how I put food on the table. Thank you for asking. This is how I keep the lights on. I got 5 kids. And with that being said, I got to make a little bit of money off of that. Is it okay that I tell you the truth, or do you want me to sugarcoat it for you? I got to
Yeah.
make some money. I'm an investor. I buy and sell properties. Either I'll keep it, I will either resell it to one of my partners, or maybe just do a little bit of a remodel and put it back on the MLS. With that being said, are we done here? Like, is this conversation over? If you like knock that out from the start, that you're here to make a profit, why are we in business? To make money
Make
today.
money today.
Yeah. So, and the other person on the other line knows that.
Yep.
They don't go to their boss, one day that they're feeling really good, if they're a W-2 employee, Mr. Boss, Miss Boss, I feel good today. Cut my pay rate in half. I think you deserve to make the keep the remainder.
Yeah.
No. So why should we?
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
Man, it's so crazy. It really is crazy how far, like how I can tell just in a short period of time how much you've dedicated time to your skills and yourself, and that's what makes the difference between somebody like you who excels and keeps going to the next level and the person who just stays where they're at, like you said, you know. Um, so you're going to build a house. That's what you said earlier.
Yeah. So we have a couple lots that we closed on, and I'm learning the process. So what I'm doing, tell you what, man, the best way to learn this business, and that's how I started in my, because I came, that I told you I came in this business with no money,
Yep.
no experience on how to wholesale, no experience on how to even get started. And I just started finding a problem that is in other wholesalers' business. And I started providing value
Yeah.
inside, turning their problem into something into it that is a bite-sized piece that they could understand. And what happens? Hey, Jay, do you want to underwrite this deal with me? Oh, hey, Jay, you mind hopping on a phone call with me? Maybe we can work with the seller together, and Jay, let's turn into a JV partner. You find the buyer, I find the seller, and let's get this sold. Once we get it sold, what did I do? And I don't know if you've noticed that from the start, that person that was my JV partner, I got them on a podcast.
Right.
I
Yeah.
I talked about what is their challenges during that time that we were doing the deal, what went well, what could have gotten better, and I posted it on YouTube. Other wholesalers like, Jay just helped this guy get this deal, and it was a $20,000 assignment that they split. I want to learn more about what Jay's doing. Hey
Yeah.
Jay, I heard you from so and so, this and that, and I want you to work with me. I have this deal. Can you help me underwrite it? Can you tell me what should I say to the seller? I'm so nervous. Like, this is my first time cold calling. Like, what should I say? What should I do? And so that's how I just started getting into the business. I was learning at what the pain points were of the people that are actively doing this business,
Yeah.
and just helping them fill in those little cracks until I started implementing my own team, and even a team. Tell you what, man, last year, like, I got to the point where I was having a bunch of VAs, and like
Yeah.
I went down and simplified it. I got an underwriter myself. I have my wife that does my videos now, who gifted me this amazing camera, by the way. Tell you
Oh, it
what,
looks great.
yeah. So, and that's how things are just going for me. Like, I'm just a problem solver, right? The problem is that we think that we're trying to just solve a problem for the seller,
Yeah.
solve a problem for the attorney that you're working with,
Yeah.
try to solve a problem for the buyers that are getting deals from you. Start asking those questions. What are you struggling on in your business? Like, how can I help you make another, I don't know, $100,000 this year?
There you go. That's a
You
that's the question, you know.
you hit people's needs and greeds, their those little pain points. You little jab at them, and you start uncovering it, and
Yeah.
just figure out a solution and work it out.
Yeah, man. That's so, gosh, man, I'm so happy that you're on here. I've been looking forward to this all week, you know, this conversation with you.
You
So
too,
are you
buddy.
so are you going to do Are you still dealing with houses, or are you strictly land now? Besides the building, I know the new construction that's different.
That's a great question. And that was my issue with clarifying my message.
Hmm.
And the the issue for me was that I had my hands in too many pots.
Yeah,
And what I'm doing is just simplifying my message. And I'm right now, I am doing still working houses, but I'm only working like I've done enough business where I'm only working with repeat customers right now, or
sure.
someone that's a referral from a
Yeah,
repeat JV partner, a seller that brings me another one of their properties in the portfolio. And we were also working with buyers that buy portfolios. And so that I was targeting those people, like where they would get the discounts that they wanted if they bought an entire portfolio. And so I would target, like when I'm doing outreach to buyers, I would tell them, hey, I see that you just bought this entire portfolio. I'm not sure what you were planning on doing on the portfolio, but can I buy one of those from your portfolio? And then we had an entire portfolio in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, which was a pain. And we figured out that solution, how to move it,
yeah,
how to start, moving portfolios there. And that's just where my business has just, I've been getting better at, working with wholesalers, communicating with attorneys.
yeah.
And I don't know, that's just how it kind of progressed for me. Did my camera freeze?
No, you didn't freeze. You're good on my end.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm still doing houses, right? I'm still doing houses, but I'm personally buying and closing and working with builders because that's what I want to do. I want to, like, the original goal for Mora Home Solutions was to build affordable housing, was to also build rentals for myself. Right
Sure.
now, good luck trying to buy stuff deeply discounted within the 1% rule.
Yeah,
It's so much cheaper to build a rental and make your cash flow that way.
I like it.
It's it the I know how to essentially remodel an entire house. Like I started off working under a GC, and then my dad and my grandfather built a small fix and flip company
Wow.
specializing on kitchens and baths, paint and spackling and mud, and that's where we kind of like stayed, and we were outsourcing the remainder of the stuff of the house. My process right now, I'm learning how to get to the point where now I see the vision, right? Trusses, the trusses, the framing is up. And then we from that point, I can do everything else on the house. So right now I'm learning the process of getting the permitting, getting the foundation laid out, like putting the
Yeah.
box, laying the foundation, and getting it to the point where the frame is up. Now that's where my confidence kind of like boosts, skyrockets. I already know the rest of that. I'm trying to learn that initial step, and the best way to do it is I'm getting properties under contract and I'm selling it to buyers on seller financing. Hey,
Nice.
don't pay me until your build is done.
There you
How
go.
valuable is that?
Oh yeah, totally valuable. That's a good incentive.
By the way, in exchange, all I ask is for you to mentor me on that specific build.
Nice. Woo! So much value there. You're getting paid and you're learning.
Yeah, and there's sellers like in my business in the land space that they want, of course, they want the most amount of money for their property, and we can do that as long as we have to structure it in a creative way. And people think creative, oh, long term, 30 years. No, structure creatively to where all you need is to structure it for maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
A build is what, 9 months or so,
Okay.
depending on how quick permitting takes. So if you can be able to show the value to a seller, hey, I can give you 10 grand cash. I know it's $10,000 less than what you wanted. I know you want 20. Tell you what, I can do 25 if you could hold the note for 5 years or for 2 years,
Yeah.
2 to 3 years. And I have the rights to pay you off earlier. Is it okay that I pay you off earlier? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, great. Yeah, I just want to be able to have enough time to be able to pull the permits, have enough time to be able to get the property perk ready. That way, the builder is just so they have the confidence in being able to work with me. Jay's already started the permitting process. Jay's already started he already got the test done. He's got the research done for the water and sewer taps if it's public water and public sewer.
Yeah.
And I'm just alley ooping it for the builder, and they're just going in and finishing it. And in the meantime, they're showing me the process. Okay, this is what I'm doing step one. This is what I'm doing step two. Hey, go out, go out and go take a look at this project for me. Go and talk with the framers today. Go and look at how they're laying down the slab. That's how I learn. I learn by doing, and I learn
Yeah.
by that process. So if I can figure out a pain point to that builder, which is we need some dirt to be able to get this property erected. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm mainly focusing on. Land. And also I have such a big network of wholesalers, house wholesalers. And what do
Yeah.
they do when they're really good at houses, man? There's some wholesalers that are really good, but the moment they see a piece of dirt, what happens? They
They
throw it to
pass.
the side. That you're still paying a PPC lead or a PPL lead. That money, we're just giving away the money.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to do is show wholesalers how to be able to either build passive cash flow from the land, or not let that land go to waste by joint venturing with me on that piece of land, so we can get it sold, or we can maybe work a ground up construction deal together.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
So for these wholesalers out here that are finding this land, right? So if they're going to contact you to work with you, what type of land, like, are you focused on areas that are already booming in new construction? Is that what it is? Like you're looking for new construction around you?
So right now I'm working right outside of all the major metros, right? Most metros are already pretty built out.
Yeah.
But if that beltway or that big highway wraps around a city, if there's people that live in those cities that are
Yep.
traveling to that big metro area. So right outside of the major metros is where I'm targeting, areas where right now might be semi-rural, or even the big issue right now is the need for affordable housing.
Mm-hmm.
Lots that are approved for mobile homes, and those
Yes.
are very known in rural areas,
Mm-hmm.
or manufactured housing,
Yes.
which it's much easier than new construction than doing a stick built new construction.
Yeah,
Those,
and
because they
not
they
to
come in two
interrupt you,
pieces, and
not to interrupt you. And what I'm noticing too is in these rural cities, these smaller cities, where affordable housing is so needed and the cost of new construction is so high that cities are changing their regulations for these prefab homes and this manufactured housing. And you're seeing mobile homes put in cities, on permanent foundations and stuff. But I just wanted to mention that.
it's a conversation with the city. It's like, hey, what can we, when you ask those questions, what can we really
Yes.
build? This is my plan. I'm looking to put a mobile in this area, or I'm looking to put a manufactured house on here. What can we do? And then they'll be like, oh, we're actually thinking of letting more people put these. Yeah. Show me your plans. For stuff like, a lot of times we're stuck in this box. The GIS says this, the county says this. But when you
Yeah.
go and actually speak with them on the phone, they're having meetings every single month. Like, hey,
Yeah.
what should we approve? What is the highest and best use for this certain area? What do we want to see? Do we want a school to come here in this certain region? So changes of zoning could, a piece of land that you bought as a single family residential, just having conversations with the city, and you could possibly turn that into a small multifamily.
Yeah. There you go. I love it, man.
So it's
Uh,
all about having conversations. But the problem is that we get stuck in that bubble where, no, this is what it says. This is what the only thing we're going to do. And people give up those opportunities, especially builders,
yeah.
because they want it easy.
Yeah. Um, Man, there's one thing I really want to talk to you about before we hop off here. And you
Yeah.
mentioned earlier your wife bought you the camera. I seen that she got, that sweatshirt you're wearing. She got the team some sweatshirts. Your wife is very, very supportive of you.
Very supportive.
How important is that, man?
Oh my goodness. Well, here's the thing, the issue is when you're starting a business, the support from a spouse could eat. So if you don't have support, work your way to become the person that gives that your spouse the belief system in you. The problem with this business is we're right when we're building it, we're struggling, and our wife's or husband or wife or our spouse sees that,
Yeah.
and so they start losing confidence, losing confidence. Look, my business could have been burning to the ground, and I had a smile on my face. And of course, there's struggles. Of course, there's
Yeah.
days where I just want to like yank, like my hairline 2 years ago was right here.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah. Check
man,
me out. I
well,
know.
there's going to be stressful times, but in this business, but the support from your spouse is, I feel like it's been crucial. Like when I saw my wife do make the logo, I'm like, wow. And she made this logo because I have this like big owl, almost identical to this on my arm, huge. And she's like, I really like that owl. And she made the logo. And an owl represents wisdom. It represents,
Yeah.
many things. There's different, deeper meanings in there. And, she's like, look, you are repping other people's brands. You're helping other people level up their business. You're starting to get a presence. People are seeking you for guidance. It's time that we start detaching,
Yeah.
start becoming your own, like your own, whether it's coaching, whether it is your fix and flip business, whether it is your wholesale, whatever, but make sure it represents your thing. Simplify it.
Man, I love it. I'm so happy to talk to you, and I want to continue this. Like, I
Let's
want to
do
keep
it.
having you come on.
Yeah.
Before we go, because we are running out of time, do we have anything free we can give the people? Do we have anything that we could put
Oh yeah,
together and give away for these
I
people?
love freebies. So on my website, I have a land investing checklist. I have a dispositions checklist. My YouTube, Travis, you and I both know we're in the same space. The stuff that I put on my YouTube,
Oh yeah,
people are paying 10 grand for, 20 grand for. Like, I'm giving it away. Like, I'm giving the
yeah,
sauce, right?
yeah, man.
And so, I'm doing that because I want to bring more people, have more confidence in me, right? Is there stuff that I charge for? Absolutely. I'm in business to make money. But the goal here is to show people credibility, right? So on my website, go to itsjmora.com, free download my assignment of contract, which I already paid 5 grand this year on approving on multiple states, assignment of contract, and these other stuff. Itsjmora.com.
Awesome. All right, man. Thank you so much for coming. I'm looking forward to talking with you more and seeing just you grow. I'm sure in the next 1 to 2 years, you're going to build 50 houses by then, and you're just going to keep killing it. So, yeah, man, I appreciate your time, and just stay in touch with me.
Sounds good, brother. Thank you so much for having me on.
Hey, man, thank you. You have a good one.
You too, brother.